Hey everybody, it's Ozone. Welcome back to my little corner of the world here in Vintage Story. As you can see, it's snowing like it's Christmas Day outside, or well, Christmas night as the case may be. We are full well into winter. Look at that, January 9th. And as a reminder, I still haven't died in this world. Not once. It's pretty surprising, quite honestly. I've done an awful lot in between episodes, and really, it's just trying to progress the season and get rid of winter out there. I don't like winter. It makes it hard. The days are so short, the nights are so long, and I just get tired of it. I get tired of the snow. I get tired of not being able to see anything on the map because it's all just white. But that doesn't stop me. That doesn't stop me at all from getting things done. One of the big things that I've gotten done is I've now have a basement. Yep, it's the same size as the house upstairs. I've got it decorated with some nice beams and a second floor made out of slabs. I've got a little bit of wood stockpiled here in order to be able to make a fire pit down here, and I've rebuilt my hidey hole here in the same basic place. Interesting to note here that I've switched to using a pit kiln instead of a campfire to kill the drifters. This is my little drifter mob trap here. I hide here during a temporal storm and the drifters die on there. And yeah, we just had a temporal storm. But the pit kiln lasts a lot longer and with a lot less resources in terms of the peat blocks than a regular old fire pit, and I think it does a lot more damage. And in the end, I usually have something that needs to be fired one way or another, so I think it's a compromise that works well. In other news, we now have 50 liters of cranberry wine that I want to do a distillation with. I don't really know what I'm doing with that. I haven't looked it up yet, and we'll get to that a little later in the episode. There's so much more to show you. I've been keeping awfully busy up here. The second run of steel has finished up. I've created a whole lot more of these copper plates because, yeah, I went and made a copper mine too. I'll show you that when it gets light. But I've also made up some of the steel into plates and then, more importantly, into chain. I didn't want to get too far ahead, but I'm definitely going to want some steel chain, if not better armor. So since I've got quite a bit of it going, I might as well use it up. Since I've been doing almost nothing but tending steel, I've managed to collect quite a bit of it. But it looks like at the moment this batch is stalled out, so looks like it's time to fix that too. This should be about done. You know what? I wonder if I can do this? Yeah! No damage. Let's go. There's a little bit of damage. Anyway, 94%. Oh, I should have brought some coal with me. That wasn't very smart. Now, in the last episode, we got into some brining, and it looks like my turnips are about done. At the end of the day, they'll be here, but I've also put some meat in 2 of these, and this one's really, really interesting. There's only 1 piece of meat in each, and they take 20 days, so not really worth it. But what I find really interesting is that I put a bunch of salt into the barrel, but I can't use it if I put meat in here and try to seal it. You see, when it comes to curing meats, you have to have the exact amount of salt in there. It's not like the borax or any of the other leatherworking stuff, right? So if you have a full barrel of 50 liters of borax solution, you can put 1 small hide in there and it will only use 2 liters. But not so with salt in a barrel. So I've got 63 salt, which is more than the 50 liters that a barrel will normally hold. And I don't know how to get this out of here. If I break the barrel, it'll all just disappear. So help me out here. Is there a way to use that salt in that barrel? Because I haven't really been able to find anything yet, and I find that to be, well, rather annoying, honestly. Alright, now that it is daytime, I can show you what I've really been spending a lot of time on, and it's these paths right here. In the last episode, I had completed this to a little ways down into the southern area where I go to get borax and things like that because there's this conglomerate rock here. I think I had completed it down to about right here. Yeah, that's where my tunnel mark is. But you can see on the map, I've gone a whole lot further. I have gone way, way, way south here. And Now I'm at the edge of this really big lake and the edge of my known map. So I'm going to be very excited to start to explore this area, I think once spring comes around, because it's really difficult to find things while it's winter, in general anyway. Now, similarly, I have expanded the northern route quite a bit, way up into here, but sadly, I really haven't found anything else of interest while I'm out in this other expanded area that I've never been to. I really haven't found any traders. I haven't found any new resources. I haven't found any more fruit trees. And there just seems to be a whole lot of nothing up here. Now, I will amend that slightly. Down here at the edge next to the lake, we've got a high ilmenite reading here. So if I ever decide to go for titanium, that's going to be the place to go. But it is temporally unstable down here, so I don't know that it'll really be that successful. Now, at the end of 3 directions where the trail leads into a giant lake, like right here on the eastern edge, I've added a little dock and a boat, and keeping the ore right here along with a little lantern to help me find it if I ever need to come back. And I think that'll be a little bit easier and better than trying to take this path block and just run all across the lake. I kind of like the idea from a lore perspective, from a world building perspective, of having a little dock here but with a little boat. I really do wish these boats were better. They're not really great travels. But probably one of the more interesting things that I did is I created a new copper mine, because I was out of copper. Yeah, and boy does this one go deep. It's so deep that it actually goes all the way down to mantle. I didn't find the copper I was after until like Y20 something, and yeah, I'm a little hesitant to go all the way down because it's a little dangerous. These guys are a little rough. But down here at the bottom is mantle. And I'd never been down to the bottom of the world or seen mantle. Honestly, it's a little anticlimactic. There's not much here, nothing interesting. I half expected to find all kinds of gemstones and exotic ores and things like that, but no, really all we got is a lot of gear spinning in the wrong direction. So it was interesting, but not really much of an accomplishment. Like I said, kind of anticlimactic. And like I said, also fairly dangerous. The drifters down there are pretty strong, so I might not actually be going back down there. I didn't think that I would ever need more copper, and I did, because I want to make a lot of lanterns. But I guess if I ever want more copper, I'll just dig a new mine. Surprisingly, my one last rye crop here in this big field is still holding on. It hasn't died off yet. And over here in the greenhouse, things are looking good too. And while they haven't grown that fast, they also haven't died off, and they have grown. So the greenhouse is doing its job. But I think the thing that I want to work on first and foremost is figuring out how to do some distillation. Alright, as I suspected, the boiler can only be fueled with firewood. Place a bucket under the condenser spout, fill the condenser with water, and build a fire pit under the boiler. And since we need to make a fire pit under this thing, I think this bottom piece needs to be something burnable. That I did not expect that. There's a lot of things gravity doesn't affect in this game, and I didn't expect that to be one of them. That could have been bad. So let's grab and put that there, and put that back, and put that back. Very good. And they say fire pit, but it's not really a pit. I guess it's still called a fire pit. I always just call it a cook fire or something. How do I put something underneath it? There we go. Alright, now let's fill it up and give it a light. Oh, and put my barrel back, because that's what's going to collect everything. Fuel for 8 hours. Nice, 30 liters of cranberry wine, 10 liters of water, and our container is empty. I wonder how long it's going to take to do this. It really doesn't say, but I guess that's what we're here to find out. We'll just kind of keep an eye on it, I suppose. At least we know we've got fuel for 8 hours. Oh, there we go. We've already got 0.04 liters of Cranberry Brandy. Presumably the water will, yep, the water gets used up as well over time. And will 10 liters of this turn into 10 liters of brandy? No, absolutely not. It looks like we've gone through about 1.5 liters and we've made 0.15 liters of brandy. Boy, that gets really condensed down. A bucket is going to be way too big to do all this, but nice. We're distilling things. Once that's done, we'll put this brandy back in here and distill it again, or probably actually just make another, use up the rest of the wine to make up all the brandy, and then distill all the brandy into one batch of aqua vitae. Well, that wasn't nearly as difficult as I thought it might be. And it does seem like a good wintertime activity. Yeah, it's once again nighttime. It's always nighttime when it comes to winter, it seems. But on the good news, as I've been out and building these trails, first of all, I've used up a ton of dirt. I used to have a full crate of low fertility soil and extra, and I've used it all up on all these path blocks for all of these highways that I've made in each of the cardinal directions. I really don't have any dirt left. And while I've been out, I haven't gotten cold and shivery once at all because I've got all this extra clothing on. In the last episode, we made new fur coat, knee-high boots, I made fur gloves, I made new rawhide mantle and trousers, and altogether I've got a lot of extra warmth. I haven't had any problems at all being outside in the cold. So that's really nice. If you've got the leather to do it, it's definitely worth doing it to help you get through winter. But since it's winter, and I don't really like winter, so I go to sleep. I really haven't gone to sleep an awful lot, but it helps to pass the winter and make it be spring a little sooner. But even though I slept through the night, it's still night outside, and so we've got some work to do. Like I said before, one of the things that I wanted to do down here was add a whole bunch of utility things, like a fire pit, like moving the cementation furnace down here, and maybe making some pit kilns. But right now, I've just got a big room. And honestly, this room isn't big enough for the cementation furnace, at least not tall enough. And a lot of these things, they're just kind of boxes. You know, like the charcoal pit. It's just a box. No, I think what I want to do instead is try to have, I don't know, little things carved off the side that have these things. Like, have my charcoal pit just be a hole in the wall. And I go into it when I want to do the charcoal, but otherwise it's not in the main room itself. And by the way, I do really like the decoration that I did here, you know? I really think that the cobblestone walls make for a great texture because this is a cellar. And I've collected some of these andesite dry stones from the various dungeons that I've disassembled, so I decided to use them here, both in the andesite version and in the conglomerate stone versions here for the floor. I think the conglomerate stone version for the floor makes a whole lot of sense. It feels a little dirtier and maybe better as a floor. But anyway, I want to make a charcoal pit, and I don't really think that I need a big charcoal pit. It's pretty easy to just keep redoing it. And as for the inside, I think I'm going to take some time and make it pretty. But when it comes to the fire pit itself, I want it to have glass in front so that I can easily see what's going on inside. So I think the inside needs to be made pretty as well. It's definitely overkill, but I'm at a pretty late stage in the game here, and I can afford to do it. So why not? So there we go. That looks a little better. But I think for the time being, having a raw stone floor is okay. But first let me fill it up, and then I'll worry about how to get the rest of it in place. I have a feeling that basically I'm going to need to make a staircase here, and I'm going to have to tear it out each time. Well, I thought I had a whole lot more wood down here than I do, apparently. Looks like I'm going to have to go harvest some more wood in between episodes. But okay, assuming that that's about right, I think I'll block it up right here. and do a stair right there and a stair right there. And then I should be able to get it lit up and pop these guys back in. I think that should work. I mean, that's just a stair. That's not the right thing to do there, but I think you get the idea. And then we get glass that allows us to see into the charcoal pit and allows us to see when it's done. I kind of like the way that works. And there's even enough room where I could make another one right next to it if I really want to, if I'm that rich on wood, which I kind of don't think I ever will be, honestly. But nice. Task number 1, at least, is started down here. We're not going to be able to make charcoal just yet, but it's a good start. Speaking of firewood, it looks like I need to add a little bit more again. I didn't think that 2 hours had passed, but yeah, I think we're going to have to fill this up a few times. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to have much of an impact at all on the progress. But that stack of firewood got me about 10 liters, just over 10 liters. So it looks like I'm going to have to do that once again in order to get everything all cleaned up. And we've got 1.06 liters of cranberry brandy. Whew, that is not much at all. Yowzers, 8 tiles damaged this time with this run of steel. That's quite a bit. The first time was only 3, and then 5, and then 7, and now 8. And I have to wonder, do these things have like a cumulative damage or something so that more and more get damaged each time? Oh well, I guess it's a good thing I do have quite a bit of those refractory bricks. I made up quite a bit. You know what? I am being very, very silly. I was out here replacing the bricks, ready to get this thing started once again. But why? But why? I want to move it into my basement area, and so there's no point in doing this once again. In fact, what I really need to be doing is taking it all down. So I guess let's take it all down and start the move. Since we're not firing steel at the moment, might as well. So I was going to say that I want to put the cementation furnace in a different little room, but I've got this little alcove, which seems to be just about right. So I wonder if I put this here, does it fit? No, it does not. All right, we need to take it down a level. And all of this beautiful floor will, of course, have to be dug out a little bit. Probably a lot, actually. But it looks like it's going to fit, and I really don't feel like there's any problem with how it's set up. I don't feel like having the chimney so close to a floor is actually a problem, or having this thing not actually be outside or have a clear line of sight to the sky. So I think it's a little close here to my hidey hole, and I don't have any room to get around here. But I think I can manage to get around and be able to easily replace all of the pieces. Now, of course, I am going to have to dig this out quite a bit, going all the way down and around so that I can get to where the coal needs to go. So this is going to have to be a staircase that keeps going down. But I think it's going to be worth it. We'll see how I manage when I get done, but let me try to get it built, and we'll come right back. Structure not complete. 12 blocks missing or wrong. I'm not seeing anything though, so it must be kind of buried in the structure. That's going to be difficult to tell where it needs to go. Now that I'm down underneath here, I can see it a little more easily where these things are. Guess we'll just take them all out and see what we are left with. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Is that enough? 3 blocks missing or wrong. Oh, man. It's kind of frustrating and hard to tell what is right or wrong. I I guess this is why it's a good reason not to try to do it inside like this, I suppose. Aha, I think that is the final culprit. Oh my word, this was a lot harder than I expected it to be. Are we done? No, that wasn't it at all. Wow. I think I'm just going to dig out everything all around because I am just not finding what's wrong. We're going to make this thing totally freestanding. Oh, I think I got it. I forgot and left a dirt block in here. That's the one I was using to help me place the rest of it. Oh my, that was a little painful. A little painful. Looks like we're ready to go, finally. Oh my word. Well, now the question is, do I like it here? And honestly, kind of no. No, I really kind of don't like it here. It sort of fits well in this corner, but it's also just looks packed in. It just looks jam-packed in, and I don't really like it. But I think I can fix it. I like having it open on the sides here, so I think if I just push this wall back one more block, I'll be able to get all the way around. And I think if I rebuild my hidey hole and shift it over this way, I think that would look a lot better, give it a little bit more breathing room. And then as far as this whole area, I think maybe I just start bringing some steps down and bring this whole area down on a lower level than the rest of the floor. I think that could work. All right, well, looks like I got some building to do. Well, as you can see, this is starting to come together, and I am liking it a lot more. I really like the idea of glass here so that we could see down below, and it really kind of helps to separate out the space so that I don't have to dig absolutely everything out. I have to dig out a lot more and continue the walls, but it's definitely looking better. Oh, also you can see I found some quartz here, and this is supposed to be a very large vein of quartz, so I guess if I need quartz I'll have to just dig under my own base for a little while, but I think I've got a little bit more work to do, and we'll come back in a little bit after I've made some more progress. But overall, I think we're going in a good direction here. All right, here I am, finally done. I think this looks a lot better. I, of course, had to dig out a lot more than I intended, but it should be fully functional. I think it'll look really well. Like I said, I like the glass around here. Gives us some indication about whether the fire is still burning. We go down below and we've got the pedestal where our coal needs to go, which, you know what? I want to replace these right now. We'll just put down some of these aged polished rock. I think that's a better foundation for it. And the last thing that I need to do here in order to make this work is to fix the old problem with the coal wanting to slide off. You know, that's why we put something onto the side, is because it doesn't stack up all the way. And so that's why I used slabs on the one outside. But I want something that's going to be a little bit better. I'm still going to be using the vertical slabs like this, but I have yet to even talk about the chisel and hammer. With using a chisel and hammer, I can do all kinds of things to these rocks. I can knock out individual little voxels, and with a tool that lets me do bigger or smaller pieces of it. So I like the idea of thinning this down quite a bit and making a small set of bars or something that's going to hold the coal in and yet still let me interact with it. You know, I could make just one giant window here. I think that's okay, but I think I want it all to be a little bit thinner and a little bit more dainty. So I really love the amount of customization that you can do with this. And for a person who's really interested into building, this is huge. I'm a lot less interested in building. I'm more function first. But I'm working on it. Or trying anyway. So yeah, I really like the idea of setting up something pretty small and kind of simple that's gonna let me still access the coal, but keep it from falling off to the sides. Nice. Let me get this work all done, and we'll come back when I'm done. I really like the way that's looking though. So there we are. Pretty simple, but it should do the job exactly as we need. There we go. And now I think everything is ready. Structure incomplete. Can't get hot enough. Oh no. Oh no. When I was chiseling all this out, I accidentally chiseled this block. And I put the bit back, but look at the tooltip. It's different. So I think this block is forever ruined, maybe? I don't know how to fix that. But says, yeah, ready to be fired. Ignite. Okay. Well, that's one block I guess I can't use. Like I said, I don't really know how to fix that. But ready to go for the first batch of steel being done inside. Because as you can hear, there's a bunch of growlers outside, and, you know, I would rather not go outside right now. So I'm glad that I can be working right here in the safety of my own basement. Now, I will say it's difficult to know that it's working because I've been using the smoke particles that come up out of the chimney to know whether it's still firing. I guess I can see the smoke particles right here, but unfortunately I can't really see the coal through the glass. Oh, huh. Well, okay, note to self, can't do that apparently either. Okay, just a little too close to all that heat apparently. Oof, that's rough. And also, in between time, I have finished putting all of the firewood into the charcoal pit here. And so I think we're ready to go for the charcoal pit's maiden run here inside the base as well. Gotta be kind of fast, but there we go. Again, I can't see anything. I can't see particles off the top, and that might also be a mistake. But I do like that I can see all of the wood through the glass here, and hopefully, that's a lot of wood. That's that's a lot of wood. Hopefully I don't have any problems, but yeah, of course I'm going to have to dig out this stair in order to go dig it out when it is done. But again, it'll be nice to be able to do that within the safety and comfort of my basement and not have to go outside. Yay for progress! But overall, I am liking where this is at. I like what I've done here. And it takes up pretty much the whole back half of the basement area here. But that's okay. That's okay. I think if I wanted to, I could, dig into the wall here and go do something else further down if I wanted to keep digging. I've got this whole side that I feel like I need to use it for storage, because there's no windows here. And if I use this side for storage, well, then I have all of the walls open and available up here on the main level in order to add in some windows, which is something that I've been wanting to do. So yeah, building and base work in the wintertime is the right thing to do. You don't have to go outside, you don't have to worry too much about trying to collect a bunch of resources, if you've already got it, that is, just because it's so difficult to do much of anything outside, with the days being so short as they are. And I am trying to really focus more on aesthetics. Like I said, we're far enough into the game, I can certainly afford to spend some time working on aesthetics. So let me know what you guys think. I'm feeling pretty good about this, but there's always room for improvement. And so with these projects all complete, it seems like a pretty good place to stop and end the episode. I've certainly gotten a lot done. A lot of base expansion that was, I think, sorely needed. And in between episodes, I think I'm going to be making up some chests and moving all of my storage down here into the basement. It's not exactly the most convenient place to have to come and get stuff, but at the same time, I still think it's the best way to go. But as usual, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider giving the video a like, and better yet, please consider subscribing to my channel. I appreciate everybody that leaves a comment, gives a like, and gives a subscription, because it does take a lot of work to put these together. I mean, yeah, we're playing a game, and yeah, it's fun, but it is also a lot of work. Oh, look what else I did. It's a mod that I've installed so that I could zoom in. I like it. I like it. It certainly does help when you're exploring. Well, anyway, that's all for now. Remember, be excellent to each other. I'm out.